Hey, welcome to another episode of Geekoutdoors.com. So, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat together. That sounds like a really bad idea, but that's actually what happened here. So, there was actually a movie, Street Fighter, the movie that actually came out. It was a pretty horrible movie, but they did actually make a game out of it. And I initially thought there's no way this can be good because it's Street Fighter and like digitized Mortal Kombat characters are not known for their amazing animation. But when you actually play it, it's way better than you think it would be because you could actually pull your moves off. And even though these actors and actresses were digitized, they were actually able to do pretty much all the main Street Fighter moves that they have in the regular Street Fighter game. And this one, if I remember correctly, oh wow, it's actually based upon Super Street Fighter 2. So Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So a lot of the move sets, Kuma and so forth. And there was also some additional moves right there. These Shock and Chun-Li that you did not get in the normal Street Fighter game. And the game itself, it tried to stay really true to the actual movie. So a lot of the background sets were actually from the movie. And then if you look right there, the characters have a lot of the same type of animations that they do when they defeat an enemy from the regular Street Fighter game. So I'd have to give a lot of credit to the actual actors and actresses for being able to pull off a lot of these, cartoony moves. Even though obviously they're stiff because, they're people. So, but it came out better than I thought. But does that mean it's a game that I actually want to go back to over and over? Nope, not at all. Because whenever this did come out in the arcades, and like I said at that time, Mortal Kombat was really on its high. And if I remember correctly, this came out like maybe after Mortal Kombat 3, I think, or somewhere between Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat 3. So that's kind of what I remember. And so at this point, Capcom was in a lot of ways trying to play catch up because at that time, because Mortal Kombat was so popular, digitized fighting games were all the rage. And there were a lot of copycats, just like they had a lot of copycats of Street Fighter. So in this case, Capcom was doing the actual copycatting, and they did a pretty good job. I mean, compared to other companies that tried, they did a really good job. And obviously it's Capcom, so they have a lot more resources than these other copycat companies who were trying to make Mortal Kombat ripoffs, So other than that, in terms of like trying to stay true to the actual video game characters, they did a good job also in keeping the background from the movie. Okay, and so the backgrounds look pretty good in my opinion. And you have to remember the time that this came out, and so this was pretty good looking when it did come out. And it also introduced new characters like Sawada, who is only from the movie itself, so it's obviously not a Street Fighter character we're familiar with. And this is what I mean when I says it looks pretty good, because look at the background. They got full motion video clips from the actual movie, which was pretty cool to do in the game at this time. Now, whenever you did play this as a two-player game, it was, I don't know, it doesn't lend itself well to a two-player game, I don't think, because it doesn't have that whole fun factor because of the fact that it is digitized characters. And also, if you have a character with actual projectiles, you have an advantage, very similar to regular Street Fighter, but even more so here than you do with characters that do not have a projectile, okay? I mean, and that doesn't mean that you can't win the game with somebody like Zangief. It's just a lot harder when you have a character that can actually keep you at a distance with their projectiles, okay? So like this one, Sawada, he doesn't really have much of it, projectiles at all, I don't think so. So it's pretty easy for Kuma to take this guy out. So yeah, this is gonna be a good battle. And if you have not seen the movie, it basically is led by Guile, or in this case, Jean-Claude Van Damme. So he was definitely the biggest actor in this movie. Raul Julia was also in this movie. Unfortunately, it was the last movie that he made before his untimely demise. But people thought about this movie, they thought immediately about, Jean-Claude Van Damme, because he was the headliner. So in this case, instead of it being about, Ken and Ryu, which it normally is in most Street Fighter games, it was about Guile and his special forces, and they basically went into this jungle to find out, what happened to these missing peoples. There were some experiments happening, and the experiments were being done by Bison. And so anyway, long story short, they end up at the base. They even meet Blanca, who was a scientist, and they go to battle, you know, against all of M. Bison's hordes of armies. And the main final battle is between M. Bison and Guile. Okay, so that is the headlining fight. You know, Ken and Ryu were more or less just background characters, you know. I think the main characters in this game, in this actual movie, was actually, just like I said, Jean-Claude Van Damme, M. Bison, and DJ. I think it was DJ. No, Balrog. Okay. Or Vega, as he's known in the Japanese game. Oh, whoa. I just got beat. Alright. Okay, now. Oh, man. And honestly, I don't think Capcom could have made this good. I really don't think so. Because of the limitations of digitized characters, you know, I think they did really good for what they were given. You know, given the actual medium of actual human beings. Whoa. Alright. And then, if you play this long enough, you know, you'll be able to string combos like you would in the normal Street Fighter game. Maybe not as fluidly, but you are able to string some combos, you know, as long as you're able to time it just right. Bam. Sweet. And you can probably tell my favorite character out of this is Akuma, because he is pretty much wildly overpowered all the other characters because he can throw projectiles while in midair. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you can't get taken out by these characters. And as a matter of fact, probably the hardest character to beat in this game is actually Guile, Jean-Claude Van Damme's character, because he's so cheap, you know. So, ooh. So this is actually in the lab, so it's like near the last part of the movie. If you watch the movie, don't watch the movie. It's one of those guilty pleasures. It's a bad movie that's almost good, but not really, because it's not a movie I would watch over and over. Oh man. And I don't remember, I think there was a sequel to Street Fighter 2, the movie, the game. I think there was, if I'm not mistaken, but I can't really remember. You know, and then whenever this did come on the arcades, the only reason that I played it was because everybody else was playing Mortal Kombat, and it was just like a novelty thing, you know. It's like, whoa, is that Street Fighter? Is that Mortal Kombat? You know. But after a while, after you played it, you realize that, okay, it's definitely not as fun as Mortal Kombat, and nowhere near legendary Street Fighter. And so a lot of times, the only reason you play this is if everybody else is playing the other games, and you would just have to wait. Okay. And like I said, it's not really a fun two-player type game because of the fact that the characters are so stiff. So, you know, you didn't really get a lot of satisfaction out of playing them. I think at the time there were like so many fighting games available. So, I don't think I ever even passed this game. So, alright, Vega. So this might be the last character to go against. So check out that background. Very reminiscent of Mortal Kombat. And there is some blood in this. If you play it, you know, you'll see like little bloods. Like there you go with Vega. So they did want to actually keep that Mortal Kombat vibe here. And that's the whole reason that Capcom did it, you know. I don't think they would ever want to make a game like this. Whoa. Boy, he's fast. Okay, that's pretty cheap. And I'd have to say, some of the actors and actresses, they really did look like the actual video game characters. You know, I'd definitely say Jean-Claude Van Damme, he probably looked closer to Guile. Mainly because of the haircut and the muscles from Brussels. So this guy looked like Vega as well. You know, but M. Bison, not really, you know. And then, let me see. Ming-Na Wen, she actually played Chun-Li in this movie. Whoa. I was just mashing buttons and beat him. So let me see if I can beat Vega. Vega is one of those characters that I actually hate to fight. And I'm not really even good at playing him, as a matter of fact. But he's one of those characters that I really, really do not like fighting because he's cheap. But with Akuma, I think I could take him out as long as this guy keeps jumping into my Dragon Balls. Ooh, oh wow, I missed that super. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, come on. Oh wow. Alright, so that's a fitting end to Akuma. And so that is it for this particular review of Street Fighter the movie. A pretty much good to average game for a pretty horrible movie. And so if you had any thoughts on Street Fighter the movie or any other Mortal Kombat knockoffs, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And did you think that this game was even good, or was it as horrible as the movie? And so if you had any other thoughts on this or any other games that you wanted me to review, I'd like to know those as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to subscribe. And if you did want to support my channel further, you could do that at patreon.com/Geekoutdoors.
There you go.
Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.